Welcome to the Sold Too Early Sports Card Podcast. Excited for the Dallas Card Show of Miami of Ohio, hosted exclusively in the Los Angeles Anaheim Angels baseball stadium. Probably. That's Kai. I'm from Paris, Texas. And today, welcome back to the Sold Too Early Podcast. Kai, how the hell you doing, man?
I'm doing good. That was probably the longest intro, words-wise, I think you've ever had.
To be fair, today's intro is poking a little bit of fun at the Dallas Card Show. I absolutely love it. But it's a little interesting to see what they're doing. For anyone who is not super aware of what is going on, Dallas Card Show is basically like franchising, maybe even realistically running several different card shows across the country, which I think is pretty good, honestly. But it's very funny when you get emails or you see branding for the Dallas Card Show of Cincinnati, which is a real thing that's happening. So I had to poke some fun at it. They actually seem to have either partnered with or actually created their own show here in New Jersey this past weekend. It was called the GTSM New Jersey Autographs and Sports Card Show, but it was branded with Dallas Card Show as well, which is it's interesting. Did not have a chance to go this weekend. Had my fiance's bridal shower, I guess, which is a valid excuse.
Jeez,
So,
it really?
yeah, dude, how dare I put my fiance first before cards? I'm such a piece of shit. But hey, man, listen, I think it's good to see more shows be available to people. I don't really know how this past one went in New Jersey, but listen, it's just kind of funny. I think if the Dallas Card Show is called something else, just in name, this would not be a thing to poke a little bit of fun at. But when you literally have the Dallas Card Show Cincinnati, which I will pull up on my screen super quick, it's a little funny, and you got to poke a little bit of fun at it.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the first instance of like a kid asking his parents to take him and wanting to go to like a card show in Ohio, and they end up going to Dallas because it's called the Dallas Card Show, or like some sort of mix-up and just being total catastrophe.
It's gonna happen. I mean,
Yeah.
if not already, between the Dallas Card Show, Investatopia, which I think is everything except for sports cards, which is great, honestly. And then you have Dallas Card Show Cincinnati, Dallas Card Show Edison, New Jersey, Dallas Card Show Miami of Ohio. You might have a couple of instances and people get a little confused. Hey, it's just a branding thing. Not a big deal. It's just kind of fun. And I enjoy seeing a little bit of shenanigans as a result.
Wait, I'm confused. Is the show in Kentucky?
So, yes, it is in Kentucky. I don't.
No.
Yes.
What?
Yes, Kai. I don't know why.
Did you see that beforehand?
I did see that beforehand, yes.
Am I missing? So we have 3 different places now?
Yes, you have Kentucky. You have Cincinnati. Maybe this is close to... Maybe this is around the border. I'm not exactly sure. I was just reading
that, and I was like, what?
Yes, you have the Dallas Card Show of Cincinnati hosting a card show in Kentucky. Maybe it's right next to it. I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny because I had seen this as well. And I'm just, you know what? Just roll with it, man. You don't question it, Kai. You can't.
I'm guessing the thought is that there's probably more card collectors in Cincinnati, and they wouldn't go if it was called Kentucky, but that since it's actually pretty close to Cincinnati, probably, then they could mooch off the Cincinnati collectors. I don't really know, honestly.
Hey, listen, I'm not really sure either, and I was actually checking out the rates for this.
Dave's going.
No, I really can't. Like, this is
Oh, that's the reason you don't want to go.
What?
Because you can't.
Okay, I probably could, but like my wedding is super close. I don't feel like taking off more time than I have to.
Just say you don't want to go, Dave.
I don't want to go, and I said that. Okay, fuck you, Kai. It's not super expensive either, like for a table space based on how much you pay for it. Like this is about right for a 3-day show. I have to imagine the New Jersey version of this was about the same price, maybe a little bit more because it's a little more expensive here in New Jersey, and that's the powers that be. I actually just renewed my table for a show here in New Jersey that's happening in September, and it's a 2-day show, and it was the same price as a 3-day. So go figure. Who knows? Just interesting. Something to keep in mind. It makes me actually think of the branding that Santiago Sports Tyler did, because he had franchised his name, let's call it. I'm not sure, gave someone the opportunity to buy into the Santiago Sports name at a car show here in New Jersey, and they had it for about a year or two. And now they rebranded in the last 6 months or a year to the Card Capital. I actually really like this website. It's super duper sleek.
Well, that's the same thing as like Jimmy's stores, right? Like the road shows or whatever.
Yeah, literally that. It was just funny that Tyler's was Santiago Sports too, and I actually found the video of him like going back and like talking about it. This was 2 years ago, which is super fun. But it was a nice shop. I actually had gone down there one time when they opened, and I was familiar with people who ran or run this card shop, I should say now, and they're friendly people, and it's just kind of a fun thing to reflect on. I think the only instance of like weird branding is only because like it's the Dallas Card Show and it's just like now called several different things. So I don't know what you do.
Well, I'm just mind blown with the triple location conundrum. I think you should call it like the blank card show wherever you're going to be, like by the Dallas card show or something like that. Like I think
Yeah.
that makes the most sense, but I'm not the one running it, so
No, and I'm not the one doing the marketing of it. The marketing is definitely a big issue with these card shows. While I can't say Dallas has the best marketing by any stretch of the imagination, they've done good enough. They've definitely improved on it. And listen, there's a reason why I really try not to miss any Dallas card shows. Hell, the one in July, which is the 4th of July weekend, I'm not going because it's my honeymoon and like it's also 4th of July weekend. That's gonna be a brutal show for anyone who does attend. I wish you luck. That will not be pleasant, but I at least have a valid excuse. And this next one in May is my first major card show since March. Dallas. I've really not done too much card show stuff in the last month now at this point. Frankly, I'm starting to get a little bored. I'm ready to hit back up card show life. It's been a bit.
yeah. I mean, there hasn't really been anything for you like that you missed, has there?
Not necessarily. I mean, there's stuff going on. There's still like stuff in Minnesota. There
I've
was the
heard about that. I heard that's actually pretty good.
I think that's on the teetering of like if I did cards full time, I would be there. I was actually having this conversation with a couple people over the weekend. Because obviously like people who came to Casey's Bridal Shower like saw me for 30 seconds and were like, hey, I remember you when you were a baby. Oh, now look at you. You're such a grown boy. And then like I explained like what I did for work and then sports cards. And ironically enough, that like came up in conversation. It's like, yeah, that's a show that's like worth going to if I did it full time, because like how many weekends out of the year do I really want to be outside of the house? And Minnesota might be a fun city. It might be a good vibe. I really don't know. I know that I can take the financial risk or the opportunity of a Dallas, of a Burbank, of a Chicago when it happens, or possibly Nashville, where like I know I'm going to do well and it makes sense for me to go. Minnesota might make sense too, but I might miss on the first time. I might need to grab more football. They might be a football town. I know nothing about that. Or there's a good contingency of like weird basketball stuff that, oh, I could have been prepared for had I not been aware. And like, oh, I didn't do as well this time. And oh, I struck out. And like now I'm unhappy about it. Like you always need to take that first time you travel to a card show and like get the lay of the land. Or obviously just go with cash and figure it out later.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever like dealt with someone from Minnesota. Like I can't remember making a label to Minnesota. I don't know. Have you?
I'm probably. I mean, I can't really think of like.
Can you like think of someone off the top of your head that like you?
No, I really can't. I mean, what the most card collectors I deal with these days are on the East or West Coast. Like you're either basically in California or you're basically in like.
Well, I
New
mean,
York.
if they're having a show there that's getting people to go, I mean, it's mostly people traveling there. It's pretty impressive if they don't have a great like local big. It's almost like a Dallas in a way. Like, I mean, people live in Dallas. They go to the Dallas show. Most of the dealers like travel in, so it's pretty impressive, I would think.
Yeah, listen, I think that there's definitely opportunity. We've had this conversation before about showrunners and like it is a dick measuring contest, unfortunately. And the prime example of that, and I'll show this in a second. We'll talk about the Fanatics event because we didn't actually have a chance to last week. By the time I recorded last week's episode, you texted me you were out. I wanted to save the conversation about the Fanatics show. but it really is super weird how competitive people get with their shows. And like, if there was any kind of communication in general, we'd be a lot better off as people who want to attend shows.
Well,
But
you would
Kai,
think they would, in my opinion, I think the shows would obviously benefit, right, by communicating and not overlapping. I mean, I don't know if it's possible to totally not overlap, but I think they would obviously get more people to go if they actually communicated. So I don't really know what the problem is there.
it's an ego thing. It
You
really
think?
truly is. I don't think that some showrunners want there to be competition. Like, they want to own the space. And they want to take as much of the fresh air and breathe it all in as they possibly can, or as much market share as available. And we see that now because in April, dude, like, yeah, sure, there's Minnesota. I think San Diego's having their show, if not already. I think Sacramento has like a show going on. But these are shows that I would call regional, basically. Like, hey, if you're in the area, you're close to that area, yeah, you should go. But like me from New Jersey, who kind of does this not full time, but could, I'm not gonna go. I'd rather save my ammunition for Dallas, for Burbank, for the shows where I know I'm gonna crush it, as opposed to, all right, yeah, this is a fine show, but I flew from New Jersey to Sacramento. Like, what? Who's doing that?
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
is interesting is the Fanatic show, Fanatics Fest NYC. Let me pull this back up. Dude, this is really crazy. Like, this was a conversation that I had kind of always had in the back of my mind, and like even possibly with other collectors as well. We don't know enough yet for me to say anything crazy. What I will say is this, and this is my expectations right now. April 16th, 2024, very little information known about this show other than it's happening and it's at the Java Center in New York City, which is something I could commute to pretty easily via bus. If I go to the show and I'm a dealer and a vendor set up, if I go and I have fun and I break even, to me it's an A plus. I have no idea what kind of show or experience this is meant to be, but I truly am so excited to find out more about it.
Well, first of all, would you not get mugged on the bus?
No, so listen, I was someone who worked in New York City. Oh my god, how long did I work in the city for? 4 years. Between graduating from college and COVID, and obviously I never went back into the city after COVID. The way I've learned to travel in New York City in general is just like, look poor. Like, my cards would be in like a backpack with like maybe a lock on it, maybe even not a lock, and it'd be in a backpack, totally normal, nothing weird about it. And I probably just either Uber to Java Center or figure out the best subway to it. I'm not exactly sure. I've never actually been to Java Center other than walking. It was about a 15-minute walk from the bus station that I would go to. I actually was there for the New York Auto Show for work last year, and that was sick. It was amazing. The Java Center it's incredible. If you've never been, dude, it is an experience in and of itself.
Is it an
Which,
arena? What is it?
no, it's just a convention hall.
Oh,
I'm trying to think of the way of describing it in scope. I don't even know how to really describe it because I only saw it set up for cars, and it's multiple floors too. So I think the way to describe it, Kai, you never went to Burbank, did you?
I've seen pictures and stuff. I mean, I know like the gist of it.
Okay, so if I was to describe it as, the main room of the Chicago National, like that
Yeah,
big room that it used to only be before it
yeah,
took
yeah,
over
yeah.
every other side room, that main room of Chicago was the basement of the Javits Center.
Oh
That was the
wow.
smallest section, and there was probably more beyond it. Because I'm not even kidding with you, Kai. When I went there for the auto car convention, like 3/4 of it wasn't even used. It was a driving track for like BMW and like Tesla. So the opportunity is absolutely massive for what people want to do. And I don't know what section of it or what small percentage of it would be sports cards. It might even be 1%. And it would still have the opportunity to just be the most incredible show ever, at least from an experience perspective. So I am very excited to see what they can think of and what they can do. It's going to be pricey. If you're traveling from out of New York or New Jersey, it's an expensive time. New York is not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. Um, I think that it's gonna be pricey, and I don't know who this show or experience is really for. I'm just lucky that I can hopefully get a table in my name, be there, have fun, bring my friends, bring my fiance, and like just enjoy that shit. And if I make money or break even, I'm already happy.
Well, at least they didn't book it like anywhere close to the holidays, because that would have been brutal price
N-
wise and travel wise.
No. Well, what's super interesting is two things. This is obviously 2 weeks after the national. And in my opinion, and I was having this conversation with someone who I really trust and I value their opinion as well. I'm not going to name drop them. This is the same. This is 2 weekends after the national. So a lot of East Coast people may consider not even going to the national because Cleveland is kind of a shithole and no one wants to really be there. It is also, Kai, the same weekend as the East Coast National. The East Coast National is run. You okay there, Kai? What is happening?
Someone's driving by.
Okay, cool. Kai's getting like space invaded. Um, this is the same weekend, August 16th to 18th, as the East Coast National. The East Coast National is run by the same people who run the National. Michael Rubin and Fanatics are very clearly trying to uh, take advantage of the situation and start to whittle down their competition because I truly believe within 5 years, if this is a success and they do more events similar to this, or they make it a little more sports card focused, they're going to try and take the national. They're going to try and make this the best show in the world, or events, if you want to call it an event, because it's kind of unclear yet. But this is, I think, is step one of their ultimate goal of being the best sports card show or best collectibles or experience for sports or sports fans in general. This is the first step, in my opinion.
I feel like if they're gonna try to do that, though, I think it has to be more than 50% card focus. People who do this seriously like aren't gonna go a second time if it's not worth skipping the other two for.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. And listen, that is pure speculation on my part. But when you have a clear target on the Nationals, like this first step is make it the same weekend as their second show. Maybe if it is successful and people have a good time and they make some tweaks and changes. Because remember, you know who we're friends with, Kai? EJ, the director of dealer relations at Fanatics. We have someone's ear that we can actually like possibly get on this podcast again and like have a conversation with. There might be more information that we can talk about. If they're able to do this well, dude, it's a whole new ballgame in my perspective. Like, this is crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool if it like coexisted too. I don't think it really has to like take out the national, but if there was like, if they're not going to work together, obviously, like we've talked about, but like every 6 months, like one of them happens would be pretty cool if it turns out to be like a major like national sort of thing, or if they do like a Dallas sort of thing and have like quarterly like huge shows, that'd be really good too. It's just gonna be
I
interesting to see how it goes.
I agree with you, but let's be real. We kind of know how Fanatics thinks and does things. They will choke out the competition. So I don't think it's going to be as
Yeah,
kumbaya as you possibly saying it's going to be.
yeah. I would probably guess they go the quarter or 3 times a year route with like mega shows if it ends up like working. But
Yeah, listen, that would only benefit us as collectors. Um, I'm very curious to see how this goes. I'm very curious to see if there's more information available in the next coming weeks or months, or we can get EJ on to talk about it if he's able to provide that information. But like, dude, I just want a industry that has as many card shows and events as I'm able to do financially and like make money from that are just like fun. And if I can sleep in my own bed as well, and that's the benefit to me, I'm thrilled. I'm the happiest person alive then.
yeah, I wonder if this goes well, if they'll try it in different like quadrants of the country or how that'll go, or if they'll stay in the north. I know they're like a northeast company, I think, right?
Fanatics is based in New York City.
Yeah, so I don't know if they'll ever kind of go out of that area, but I guess if it's successful, they probably would, but we'll see.
I think so. I mean, it would make sense. I mean, I've also heard unconfirmed sources, and I'm not
Allegedly.
gonna. Yeah, I've heard a couple things. which I'm not allowed to share, obviously, but like I did name
I
drop
mean, you
this a
could
few
say you like
times.
allegedly heard something.
No, I don't want to because I don't want to get in trouble. Um, but we had a little bit of a scoop on this inside. We had heard a couple things. Obviously, there were more rumbles about this too. I don't want to say anything else beyond that, only because like that could give it away. Um, which is fun. I like having actual like, oh, we're kind of journalist, Kai. We're in a fun way journalist, and we have some decent ins, and we can find out some fun shit, which is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what else? What's going on? Like, how's your sports card journey going in the last couple of
Jesus.
weeks?
It's been fine. I've been just normal buying, grading, selling stuff. Nothing out of the ordinary really. The draft, I guess, is coming up. I don't know if you want to do that next week or talk about it a little bit now or
There's been really nothing to talk about for the
yeah.
last couple of weeks regarding the draft. Like, JJ McCarthy is now being rumored to go 2 or 3. Rome Doomsday is going to go over Marvin Harrison Jr., which is not going to happen in my opinion. Or Malik Neighbors, I think it is.
I
One
think
of
we
them is.
each need to do whether it's this episode or next episode, do a top 10 like list and see who's closer.
Let's do a bet on that. For next week, let's have a bet and like put $50 or $100, like something fun. It could even be like a punishment we do on the podcast. Like I think that's a fun idea. And then whoever gets more right wins.
Yep.
Let's do that. Okay, we'll plan that for next week and we'll talk about it. What else is going on with me? Trying to do some spring cleaning, dude. Like with no shows on the horizon for me, or major shows, I should say. I auctioned off a bunch of stuff I had in my briefcase, lost some money on it, which is perfectly fine. Like, I'm not afraid to lose money. Obviously, I don't want to, and like that's not the point. But when you have like stale inventory, and this is stuff that let's say is 1 to 6 months old, and like you're just like, hey, I tried to move it on Instagram and eBay, tried to move it on Discord, tried to move it at shows, it's just not happening. I think if you accept that and just bite the bullet and move on with it and get that cash back, like the ability to have cash these days and the ability to buy at certain percentages of comps really kind of get you back into the green with a couple of savvy moves. I'm not telling you that, you should have no inventory, you should just buy stuff and sell and flip it immediately. But if you're able to buy stuff at pretty good margins and turn it around quickly, you might be into stuff for $7,000 and only get 5 out of it. But 1 or 2 smart moves can get you back to 6,500, $7,000. And then, all of a sudden, all that dead inventory I had is now cash again. And I made 2 smart moves. And wow, holy shit, I'm back to where I needed to be on all that dead stuff. Like, you got to be okay with taking some losses in this industry. It will humble you if you let it, and it's actually not a bad thing.
Yeah, I think that was some of the stuff we talked about like a year ago when we kind of first started. Was like, as long as this is really stupid because it's obvious, but as long as you're winning more than you lose, like it all works out in the end. But I mean, that's really how it is, especially when you're doing like a lot of volume and stuff. I mean, if you can just win is more than you lose, like I don't really. You can do that in multiple ways too, like you said, breaking things down, trading into things. Like there's just so many opportunities and ways to do it, especially if you have a good network. Like I don't know, it seems like a great time right now to like just be in doing cards.
I love this industry. Are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
well, I may not love every single aspect about it or the people sometimes within it, if they're kind of annoying or like they're
Name
like.
drop.
I'm not name dropping. Dude, there's no reason to. There's very few people within sports cards I don't like as people. Like, I may not agree with like how you post stuff on social media or whatever, but it's like a persona. It's fine. Like that is not authentically you. So it's whatever. I might not agree with your style, but like, oh, it's whatever. Like you're doing your own thing. It literally does not impact my life in any way, shape, or form. Whatever. If I don't want to see it, I'll unfollow or I'll just move on with my life. Not a big deal. In real life, most people who I may not agree with in how they do things, I kind of like as human beings. They're generally pretty good. So it's not even worth like worrying about. I'm not pocket watching people. I don't really give a shit. I got my own things to worry about there, but like social media can be annoying every now and again. Like I've started to I don't hate how Instagram acts and does things, but I don't really not the biggest fan of how social media has kind of shifted in the last, I guess, even like 6 months. I don't know. It's really been weird.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't really know. I mean, this is kind of on the same topic, I guess, but I started using Twitter a little bit for cards.
Interesting.
It's gone really good, honestly. I haven't tried to sell anything. I've only been buying stuff, but I mean, I've bought multiple lots off people. I've kind of followed people, and like I actually see cards for sale now on like my page, so it's not just blank, but it's going really good. I mean, it's obviously not Instagram, in my opinion, or Discord or eBay or anything like that, but it's definitely good depending on what you like or what you buy or what you're trying to sell. And I mean, I would think if you don't have it, maybe give it a try or something. But
I might.
yeah,
It could be worth considering. I mean, I've
yeah.
started using Facebook. I go through a love-hate relationship with like the old school Facebook group. Like
Classic.
I really do have a love-hate relationship with it because what's super funny, and this is also one of those things about like real life versus social media. There was someone on Facebook that I used to like be like, oh, if I post here, this person's gonna offer me 40% of comps. And then I found out that we were actually friends in real life, but like I didn't realize his name was his Facebook name because it's different than his real name. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like we're friends? What? And it took like that like 6 months of me figuring that out. Like, oh wait, he's not being a dickhead to me. He's just this is
Who
just
was it?
like, shut up, Kai. You almost got me there. No, not happening. Um, and then I honestly like, dude, I've made a couple deals on old school. I bought a couple things on old school, and I've started to like it. I have no interest in making my personal Instagram extraordinary cards or whatever. And like Mikey, honestly, Mikey's cards, he's done a fantastic job of doing that. Like, I don't know if like he just doesn't use Facebook at all for like his personal life or he doesn't give a shit. Like Mikey has the best Facebook I've ever seen for sports cards. He deserves the credit there. I don't know if I really want to put that much effort into it. Like I
Mikey's
enjoy
just a man, though.
Mikey is, in fact, the man. I want to get back on this podcast at some point in time too. I should probably text him about that. I think he'd love to, but he'd have to use like his wife's pink girl setup. For, I don't
Well,
know how much he wants to do that.
Mikey just kind of started going a little bit harder back into it, I think. So I think he would enjoy kind of talking about what he's doing, I think, if we had him back on.
I'll hit him up. I mean, he's been working on a couple projects too.
Oh, yeah.
We're all kind of like scheming right now, dude. Like I think the lull in sports cards is really kind of helping us realize like there's opportunity within it that are just different than the trading cards themselves. I mean, Speedy Card Lister is getting to a spot where it's going to be in closed beta relatively soon, hopefully. Mikey's got some projects in the work. Lane's always working on like the Almanac or other projects. I know you're always doing like some fucking side quest stuff and like cards are on the back burner, but like we're all just trying to figure out the best ways to put ourselves in the best spot. And it's exciting to see how everyone does.
I love the term scheming. Just makes it
Scheming
sound
is,
so sus.
of course, it's the point. Hello. Oh, speaking of scheming,
Oh,
we,
jeez.
oh no, this is fun. I'm going to talk about alts because they still have not gotten back to us.
They haven't even
Um,
opened the DM, have they?
no, it's super funny. So,
She got fired.
obviously we are fans of alt, or at least I can say I'm a fan of alt.
I
Kai,
would
do you
say
like
I'm a
alt?
fan now, too.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you've done very well selling on alt, which is
Well, not a
interesting.
ton, but I enjoy it recently.
Yeah, well, fair
Continue.
enough. I should probably start on that. Anyway, the point is, we have friends who work at all. Obviously, Sheik and Matt, who have been on this podcast before, work at all. We're friends with them. I fucking applied to work at all, and Sheik has gone to bat for us several times. Like he has reached out to the powers that be and say, "Hey, you guys should work with this podcast. It's pretty okay." Like I heard they're like friends of ours, and we are. And we were in conversation, or not even a conversation, 2 messages with alt, and they left us on red. We've been ghosted, so that's cool. We're now sponsored by Card Ladder.
PWCC, where you at?
Yeah, Golden. Just kidding.
Oh,
No,
taking bids.
taking bids. REA, where you at, bro?
Oh, jeez.
Leland's. Hello.
Hmm. Fanatics?
We could be like Jeremy Lee, who, fun fact, has me blocked. I've never even heard of him until someone asked me a question about him like last week. I don't know who he is. I know he has like 15 sponsorships and he doesn't like me because I'm blocked
You
apparently.
had to have done like a story post about. I think he does. He does the thing with Mike's auctions now.
I don't know who that is. Or let's talk about MC.
MC.
Okay.
He does like the like live commentating when they end or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know what else he does, but that's how I know him. I don't know why you guys beefed. It was probably something you did, let's be honest.
I don't probably. I don't know who he is. I've never seen him before. I don't get it. I mean, listen, more power to him. If you have 14 sponsorships, you're doing something
Each
right.
for like $8.
Listen, 8 times 4 is math I can't do off the top of my head.
No, but he seems like a good dude. I don't know. You guys probably just did something stupid. I don't know what you did, but
would not shock me. Huge asshole I am. So like,
we'll have him on the podcast.
Okay, sure. Like, hi, nice to meet you. Why am I blocked? I mean,
have we ever had Mike on?
Can we get Mike on this podcast?
I don't see why not. He'd be a great guest. He's been doing this for so long. He's done so many like different things in cards.
I'm not even sure how much he's really involved anymore. I'm pretty sure he's just like chilling on a beach.
He's just
somewhere.
a man now, yeah.
Yeah, like
I know him and Matt do a lot together. We could have Matt. I don't know if Matt.
I would love to have Matt on the podcast. What's Matt's Matt Sports Cards?
Yeah.
I know it's Matt.
Sports guy. Matt's like one of my. He might be like top 3 first people I met on like Instagram cards.
Well, the funny thing is too is that like whether it's with a Sold Too Early podcast like group or anyone else, like it really is truly just filled with like now OGs. Like Kai, we're the old guard on Instagram these days, which is
I think it's almost been like 10 years.
Yeah, I've been on Instagram since 2015. Like,
yeah,
it's really kind of weird that like I'm 27. I'm not that much older than you, but like we are really like that old card collecting generation on Instagram, at least. Obviously not in real life, but like Instagram is a pretty notable spot for sports cards, and we have been there really since the beginning because sure, there's a couple people who have like outranked us in terms of time, but like most of them either got bored, found other industries, or scammed. Dude, my favorite example is Brandon's Cards 1. And if you know that story, Kai, do you know that story or no?
Yeah. We talked about the podcast before.
Okay. Who else? What was Noah's name?
Which Noah?
Not Forbes. Forbes is a great guy. I like Noah a lot.
There's so many Noahs, dude.
There was some guy who was running.
Car?
I don't know.
What did he do?
He was doing BGS or PSA orders and like never shipped them, and this was like years in the making. And then he like got called out multiple times. He, like,
oh my god. Yeah, I was friends with him. He was doing PSA orders, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he oh my god, he's a Lions fan, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still like active on his like personal life. I follow him and everything.
Shit. There you go. Kai's part of the problem.
Dude, he took like I want to say it was like $5,000 or $10,000 and for PSA orders and just never graded them and kept all the cards, I think.
Yep, which in 2015, 2016 times a lot of money. Yeah, dude. There's so many. Oh man. What is Ben's Instagram? There was another one who had issues. I think it's like best baseball cards or something like that.
I don't think I know that one. But
yeah, best
old
baseball
Instagram.
Cards. Sorry, go for
I was gonna say old Instagram was like the Wild West.
So yeah, best baseball cards 27. This was someone who did BGS subs, ran into issues. I'm not sure what happened there. This was years ago. I actually DM'd him randomly. He's gone off Instagram, but like he stole one card from me at this point. I think it was like a Jordan, not a Fleer, just a random Jordan from like the 90s, like worth like $40. And I just texted him recently saying like 2 years later, he was going to send me a cease and desist. Never happened. So I guess he needs my new address.
I mean, it's kind of crazy that like even Mark's cards was what 3 years ago now.
I liked Mark.
I did too. He literally would call me like randomly and like see how I was doing and stuff.
Yeah, he was a super pleasant person. Yeah. Bad business owner. super pleasant human being. I would still get a beer with him today, but I'd be like, why? What the fuck did you do? Nice to see you. You're very nice. Why did you do it?
I would love to know like where he's at right now, like just
He's
what he's doing.
probably just chilling. Like it would not shock me if he's still in cards. I
He's
say the
grading
same.
PSA for under a different name now.
He's actually doing HGA now. Like
He is
for a reason.
HGA.
Yeah. Like most like I wonder what Rob is up to, sports card therapist. I've heard rumors, I've heard things. Obviously nothing's confirmed. I don't have his phone number. I couldn't reach out to him even if I
I
wanted
have his
to.
phone number actually. I can give it to you if you want.
No, I don't want it. Why do you have his number?
From the national stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe you should hit him up actually, see how he's doing.
I could.
You should. Honestly, I'm curious to see. You should text him.
I'll FaceTime him live on the podcast.
Please don't. I don't need that.
Is it true?
Did you megabid? Hold up the microphone. Unprompted. No, don't text him, see how
I
he's
was
doing.
joking.
You should.
I could.
Yeah, you should. Don't FaceTime. Just text him like, hey man, how you living? Winky face.
Are you living?
Shut up. On the scale of things you could do wrong within sports cards, shilling cards is bad. Don't do it. But
Dude,
like,
that's such dude. I know you're gonna say, but like it's so like inconsequential in the grand scheme of things.
yeah, $300 or $400, whatever the Eli Manning was worth
On an
for your
Eli Manning card.
for your fucking podcast, which you were doing well at. Like, come on, bro. Really? Like,
Dude, if that was me, I just wouldn't like. Why are you getting like canceled for this? Just keep going. Like, who the fuck cares?
there had to be other stuff for that. Shy Way. I liked Shy a lot.
What did he do again?
He also
showed-
showed cards, but he did it to much like actually
Yeah, that
bad
was
extreme.
It was like business. Like he was like showing like big cards, right?
No, that is much worse. Obviously, but they were nice people. I enjoyed their company as human beings. They were bad business owners. They did bad things. They deserve to be punished. I think that there's a scale of punishment. They should not all have gone the card porn route where they vanished. Card porn is still on Instagram at some point in time. Obviously not within sports cards, but he's still out there.
I forgot about that account.
Yeah, I thought he would come back, and he hasn't. But I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah. There's a lot of people back in the original days of Instagram that had really nice collections that I would love to know. It just kind of disappeared. That I would love to know if they still like do cards or not.
Do you remember any of the Instagram names and see if I would know them?
Oh god, I can tell you one of them. Hold on. This kid's name was also Noah. He had a really nice collection at the time. Hold on.
Yeah, go find it. I'm trying to think of people who I know of. Like
sportscards.la.
Nope.
Look him up. I guarantee you know. You literally follow him.
Do I? That's funny.
Yeah.
Is it just sports cards or sports card?
Sportscards.la.
Oh yeah, I do follow this account. Yeah, 2017. Yeah, this guy had sick card. I wonder if I ever talked to him. I'm checking my DMs.
He was
right
in
now.
one of my like original group chats with like Matt Fang and like NH cards like Nash. I don't know if you know him.
I do know Nash actually. Yeah, he's got a Kobe Bryant. This guy's got a Kobe Bryant Nike logo patch auto from 2017.
He had one of the best collections of anyone I knew at the time. I mean, some of the cards on there might like look stupid now, like a Chris Bryant Transcendent Rookie 101 auto, but that was like a $5,000 card at the time.
He's got the Brady Falls patch auto jersey number.
Yeah, some really nice stuff. Mariota
Rodgers.
cracked ice auto, like that was huge.
1 of 1 Todd Gurley. Oh, this is sick. Yeah, there you go.
Like people like that just vanished. There were tons of them that like I would love to know if they still have their cards, if they kept doing stuff with cards, or they just sold them all and disappeared.
Listen, at this point now, it's impossible to know. I would like to know too. I want to see what Brandon's up to. Brandon's card 1. Who cares what that guy's up to? That's been like 6 years.
He might actually be questionable if he's alive.
Yeah, I mean, his parents probably killed him, which would not shock me. For reference, anyone who's not super aware, 2% summary. Stole his parents' credit card. They were high-level executives at some major company. 6 figures plus, basically in theft from his own parents. Parent tried to charge back everyone, eventually ate the bill, Everyone went on with their lives, and the collection was like consigned to someone. I don't remember who it was. It was one of the major companies. It wasn't Golden or PWCC, but it was crazy what happened. And then
Yeah.
there's still scammers out there from like 2015, 2016.
No one cares. They just got
No one
over it.
cares.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I stopped posting about it. Like, it just doesn't matter anymore, which is
Yeah.
really sad. They won in the end. Like, they still scam idiots. They still trick dumbasses who unfortunately don't know any better. Pay Zelle, pay Cash App to someone you don't know. You're basically asking to get scammed. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Like, any level of common sense could really save you thousands of dollars in an expensive lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a shame. I don't know. We kind of touched on a lot of different random topics. Anything else, Kai, you want to touch on real quick?
I mean, not really. It's just kind of I don't know if it's like a downtime, but it's like kind of like a not really, like, what's the right word? Like
Refresh.
like refresh, like restock, like rejuvenate sort of time period, I guess.
Why do you think I sold off half my stuff? Like, listen, right now I have a lot of nice stuff coming in internationally. Like that Tyrese Halliburton Nike swoosh patch auto from Immaculate, bunch of stuff coming in like that. Some low end for Speedy Card Lister, but I sold off like half my stuff. I have a local show here on Friday in Old Bridge, New Jersey. I'm gonna bring some value boxes. Like, I'm at the point right now where I might have like one showcase of like good shit and then like value boxes, because I just don't have the high end inventory at this moment in time, because I was currently like refreshing my stuff. By Dallas, I will have 2 to 3 showcases worth of good stuff, but I'm also sharing it with a friend. And like, that's just the cycle we work in. And then after May Dallas, dude, I'm basically done with shows until the National because of my honeymoon and wedding. Like, I'm not going to be around.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to sell off as much as I can, get cash heavy, pay for my wedding, pay for the last shit I have to. When I get back from Greece, I'm going to be super goddamn aggressive with all my card stuff for next year. Like, this is the last push that I truly have, and then I take a 2-month break. I'm on a fucking sabbatical for 8 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably, I guess, outside of some football stuff, that's probably the best time you could really take a little bit of a break.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't really buy much football right now anyway. I don't know the best play right now. I think we have to wait until after the draft to kind of figure it out. But like, I still kind of teeter towards the veteran guys like Burrow, Allen, and Herbert. And I would kind of avoid Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud doesn't have a ton of rookie stuff outside of ton of rookie autos, I should say. So it's kind of a tough move. I don't really know. I think right now, if I bought basketball during that 2 months and like was not able to move it, I'd be okay with it.
Something, I don't know, it sounds crazy to me, but like Joe Burrow and that class, I think, is going into their 5th season, right?
I'll double check. I think you're right, though.
Isn't that
like,
sounds kind of crazy?
They will hit a wall at some point where they drop like 80%.
Yeah.
There will be a time where they just crater in price, either because like their careers are wrapping up or at the very end or whatever. Like, yeah, Burrow is currently he's going to be entering year 5, which is crazy. Like, there'll be a market for some of their stuff, but there will come a time where these guys are on their final legs of playing, or someone like gets hurt and is like, it's done. Like, who do you think has the most severe drop off if their career ends like way quicker than we expected? Someone gets a career ending injury. Who drops off the quickest?
Are you asking who I think that will be, or who would have the worst one?
Who would have the worst extreme drop off?
Probably Herbert, because he literally hasn't done anything.
Yep. I think that's the correct answer.
Except for accumulate stats, I guess. He literally, like, Burrow's done things. I guess Tua, but he's not nearly as expensive as them, I don't think, at least anymore.
Tua's priced into him missing games and getting hurt. Like,
Lamar has 2 MVPs.
Lamar is almost a value play, which is super funny because Lamar and Mahomes are, in my opinion, the 2 quote unquote locks, assuming nothing goes horribly wrong, to make the Hall of Fame right now. The last like 5-6 years of quarterbacks,
Yeah.
like they are.
I'm trying to. I don't think anyone. I mean, funny enough. I mean, like the third one might be like Purdy.
I mean, Purdy for the first 2 years of his career has done.
I'm not saying
everything
he is going to be, but I'm saying like third right now out of all of them, either Purdy or Allen, I guess.
Well, 6-7 years of their career, Mahomes, Lamar because of MVPs. No one else is. Who else has won an MVP? None of them, right? None of the young quarterbacks.
I think Aaron Rodgers won one of those years.
Won 2, I think.
Yeah, I was just thinking like the last like 5-6 years. Has he won 2 times then?
I believe Rodgers won 2 times because
Mahomes won. Lamar was 2 of them. I mean, that's pretty much it, I think.
I'm going to just double check real quick.
It's been all quarterbacks as well, I think. I don't think any position players have won.
Double checking super duper quickly. So, for reference, here's everything in the last decade. So 2014 to 2023. Aaron Rodgers won a second. Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers twice, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So yeah, Aaron won back-to-back 2020, 2021.
He has 3?
He's got 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He might
And then
make the Hall of
Mahomes now
Fame.
one of 2. I mean, yeah, every quarterback there is going to make the Hall of Fame. In the last 6 years, it's Mahomes, Allen, Rodgers, which is crazy. I don't know who the third quarterback of this like younger generation would be to make who's on that Hall of Fame.
I think it'll be. I think if you're looking at like probabilities and like like the odds or whatever, it has to be Purdy just based on their team odds of them winning Super Bowls and being the MVP of the Super Bowl.
It's either Purdy or Burrow. I think it depends on like.
I think Allen's better than Burrow, but his team's not going to be what it was anymore. I don't think.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if the Bengals keep Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow through their prime, I think Burrow is the third guy in that odds. Purdy, it's going to depend on when they pay him, what they pay him, and who they're able to keep. Because if you have to pay Purdy $45-50 million a year, you're going to lose a Kittle, a Debo, an Ayuk. Ayuk might get traded.
You're going to lose Ayuk anyways, yeah.
I know, but like what I'm saying is like they will have to like find weapons to, subsidize an Ayuk, a Debo, a Kittle, like whatever. And they probably will be able to, but then it'll be much more on Purdy. And then you might run into a situation where like your window closed after 2 years, 3 years of like true Super Bowl contention. Now you're just like another team in the NFC, which could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. All right. I got nothing else to add here. I think I'm good.
I'm good too.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching and listening. Next week, I'm sure we'll have our NFL bets ready and see who has to either pay the other one a good amount of money or do something stupid. See you guys then, and goodbye.